The amount of melanin in your skin impacts more than your tendency to sunburn. It can mean the difference between a light pink or a deep mocha in your bathing suit area. If you're worried about what color your most intimate areas are, don't worry. Cosmetology has got you covered. Anal bleaching entered the cultural consciousness almost 10 years ago and still leaves most of us wondering, what the actual fuck? Today we're exploring the skin where the sun don't shine, specifically your butthole, and what its shade says about you. That's what you're in for today on Impolite Society.
Oh, I just detest rude, unladylike young ladies.
I hope you don't mind me being a tad rude.
I myself am strange and unusual.
Don't be rude.
That is some weird, wild stuff.
Shocking, isn't it?
It's a scandal,
But it's provocative.
Please stop making me blush.
Welcome to Impolite Society. I'm Beige Beauty Laura.
And I'm slightly more beige Rachel. Okay, wait a minute. Are you talking about your asshole color here?
I guess you're just going to have to wait and find out.
I didn't realize until I read a little bit more to the research. Okay, let's go.
Here we are again with another summer short. Talk about suns out, bums out. Because today it is all about your brown eye. Or your pink eye, if you're lucky. Because you are living the dream, baby.
Okay, one time I had pink eye in elementary school, but I have a suspicion that that is not the kind of pink eye that you're talking about today.
Nope, sure aren't. Because today we are talking about anal bleaching. And this was a topic that seemed to be all over the place in 2015. It seems to have kind of faded into obscurity. I haven't heard about it in some time. And part of me thought that it was kind of some weird internet folktale. You know, like people talk about it, but nobody actually does it. But no, it is definitely still out there. I don't know about you, Rachel. I have never known anyone to actually do it. What do you know about anal bleaching?
I have heard about it in pop culture. I'm going to say most of my understanding are those references. There's a 30 Rock reference in there somewhere. And I looked it up. I think there was a mention to anal bleaching in the I Heart Connecticut episode where Jenna's out there filming that Connecticut horror movie.
Jenna would totally bleach her asshole, 100%.
Of course. If there anybody else on that show that would, you know.
Nope.
So that's, I feel like, where my basis comes from. But to be fair, I don't know a lot about it. I don't even know exactly what it does. When I think of bleaching, I think of bleach. I think of disinfectant. Does this mean that you're like disinfecting your ass? I think of a bleached asshole. Is that like super clean, pristine?
Squeaky clean asshole.
Squeaky clean.
No.
Yeah.
Nope. That's not what that is. The anal bleaching trend, and I use quotes here for sure, it seemed to have all started somewhere back in 2005. That was a long time ago. That's almost 20 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
I was living in a basement, spending all my time eating fast food, playing video games, incessantly chain smoking. That was what 2005 looked like for me.
I think in the summer of 2005, I was preparing to go into the 6th grade. At 12, right? That's the grade you're going into when you're 12. Maybe I was going into middle school.
Anyway,
so there's an age gap here, I guess, is what we're saying. Or yeah. Laura was a way cooler 12-year-old than I was.
Chain smoking in a basement at 12. But in 2005, whether it's chain smoking and playing video games or getting your new puppy in the blush of innocence, there were other people in America that had bigger fish to fry. And that fish was their asshole. Because in 2005, an episode of trashy reality TV came out. It was Dr. 90210. It was on E! I never watched it. It featured porn star Tabitha Stevens bleaching her bum. And it was not to disinfect it. Though, really, I think Tabitha's balloon knot probably had some dirty days and maybe could use a little
I would
bleaching.
imagine so.
No. It's not for that. It is to lighten the color of the external skin around your anus. And I don't know who Tabitha is. I did not Google her. I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole. I couldn't even find the clip of the show online easily, but I can imagine exactly what this show was like. If you were 20 in 2005, like I was, and you knew all this crappy reality TV show shit. And after it aired, the Google Trends report from 2004 to today, and I looked it up, and it goes just skyrockets. 2005 is like nobody had heard of it. Boom! It was the height of the interest in this procedure, and I have to think that most of that Googling were people that saw it and were just like, what the ever-loving fuck is going on here?
I am dying to know, but it's hilarious that until 2005, we had no idea that our assholes could be the wrong color. I bet people didn't even know your asshole had a color. They were just like, they're just the color they are, and nobody thought any different. They're just existing down there. Nobody paid attention to it. And then Tabitha, of all people, came along and was like, my asshole's better than yours because it's a artificial color.
What a time. What a time to never have thought about your asshole cover. Color? Cover.
Man, once the towers came down, we had a lot more to worry about.
It's true. And then 2010, the Kardashians, of course, fucking Kardashians, they mentioned it on one of their shows and lifestyle sites like Men's Health, Marie Claire, Cosmo. They started cranking out these articles on it. And voila, it came part of our kind of social lexicon of shit that people do that makes zero fucking sense.
We all know shit that people do that make no sense, but we do it anyway. Like that awkward smile that white people do when they pass each other on the street.
I do it.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
No teeth.
Exactly. You don't want strangers to see your teeth. That's submissive. That's ape shit right there.
The question that I have is, why would someone even think about the color of their anus, let alone actually go out and actively try to change it, to have anal bleaching done? This is just completely like mind blowing. Why did this have a moment? And there are a few theories out there that I'm going to share, but I do want to point out that this is actually not a very popular procedure. People were Googling it a lot, sure, for morbid curiosity, but in the end, it's not commonly offered at salons, dermatologists, and other like med spa type locations, the kind of place you get Botox done. You know, it's not very well offered, at least not publicly offered. Because I would like to break the sad news to you, Rachel. I could not find one office in the St. Louis area and surrounding that publicly offered it as a service. I Googled it. I checked out Reddit.
That kind of blew my mind. I was like, there has to be some kind of anal bleaching, intimate bleaching situation here in St. Louis. And so I did a quick search as well. And I loved that the Reddit chain that I saw, the best advice on there was go to the east side, go to the strip clubs, and start asking the stripper because they will know somebody who will lighten your asshole for you. They also mentioned going to drag shows. So apparently strippers and drag queens, they're the ones with the lightest, bleachiest assholes.
I did not take a trip to the east side. But what I did do, because I happened to have a dermatologist appointment this week, was to ask the dermatologist that I went to go see.
In person?
In person.
Like, did you say this is for research?
I did. I said, listen, I have a really weird question for you. I just want to preface it by saying that this is for a podcast. I am not actually seeking said procedure, but do you know of anywhere in the St. Louis area that offers anal bleaching? And I got a lot of giggles because I asked the front desk girl as well as the doctor herself. And the doctor was fantastic. She was great. She had a lot of great thoughts on different items about like women's health and all this kind of stuff. She was fabulous. But she said, no, I don't know.
About bleaching?
She didn't know anywhere that offered it. So, I mean, I did my research on this one. I didn't go to a nudist colony this time. Oh, I bet somebody there knows about ass bleaching.
Oh, yeah. Okay, add that to the list. Strippers, drag queens, and nudists. But not dermatologists, apparently. Don't ask reputable
At least not the legit
professionals.
ones.
Yeah.
No dice. So, it looks like at least the anuses here in St. Louis, they're staying their beige beauties, is what I'm saying.
I knew you were talking about your asshole. On hindsight, I was like, damn it. Laura's talking about her asshole. I just was saying I'm pale. I didn't mean to insinuate my asshole is beiger than your asshole. I thought we were talking about her skin color.
Well, you're not wrong, maybe, in thinking that my asshole might be darker than yours, and I will get to the reason as to why.
Think about your asshole. I'm sorry. Is that something friends should do?
So the first people to get on this bandwagon were women in the sex industry, like Reddit suggested. Your strippers, your porno actresses, porn stars like Tabitha. It makes sense, right? If you're going to prominently feature your bungholes, I guess you wanted to be the idealized bunghole.
I didn't even know there was such thing as an idealized butthole. Like, I didn't know there was a preferred.
Just like this, just the color of your skin, apparently. But once those sex workers took it on, it was only a matter of time before it trickled down, right? Especially when you're featuring it on reality TV shows and celebrities are talking about it. It's only a matter of time before normies were sitting here wondering, well, is my pooty pucker too dark in tone? I mean, somebody has to ask the question for you to reflect on it.
All I'm saying is don't rule out the dark pooty pucker. Is that what you called it?
It's an SNL reference, yeah. Pooty pucker.
Because I'm an owner of
a dark
black
pooty
toilet. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't know
what
mine
color.
either.
It's not come up lately. But I do own a black toilet in one of our bathrooms. I mean, this is not a design choice on our part. It was something that came with the house. But I will say that black toilet, I only have to clean it about like a third of as much as I have to do my white toilet. So maybe the dark pooty pucker, you can get away with more.
Yeah.
Black socks, they never get dirty.
But this whole thing, it's just like a Brazilian in the body hair episode, right? Women, as a general population, we start emulating the porn stars, the things that we see on screen, because these women, they started ripping all their pubes out. We started doing it. And after that, what is next? Like, what can't society tell you to do to make yourself attractive if that's what's considered the norm? If we're ripping out pubes, okay, we can only take it another step further. They're going to keep pushing the envelope. We want a hairless crotch and a perfect pink cornhole. We want it just like the girls on film.
Or fucking baby, you freaks. You know, like,
Yeah.
what? Is that what we're emulating here? Hairless, little pink bottoms? Blah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's true because, I mean, according to porn, the pinker the better when it comes to a pussy and an asshole. But there is a problem that comes in there, and that's nature. And that little bitch is always getting in our way because as we age, your skin in that area naturally gets darker. especially the genital region. Like skin overall, like, you know, you get like age spots, like they kind of like break down and spread and things like that. But those membranes in the genital region can also get darker with age. Though this is not a universal rule, as I verified with my dermatologist. You know, but it can definitely happen.
It's the norm, which is interesting because don't some people never have pink on their stink, right?
Yeah.
You know, it just feels a little bit like this is also dependent on your skin color. So this also feels like some kind of white asshole supremacy here of like this idealism.
An asshole in the literal sense.
Like, yeah. I mean, anybody who thinks white supremacy is an asshole. But this is like saying that a white asshole is better. And that's just fucking insane.
It does. It based upon your general skin tone. If you are tanner, your butthole and your vulva is going to be darker. Even if you're like pasty white, like the two of us, things can change over time. Your genitals have everyone's genitals, not just yours, Rachel. Genitals in general. They have a very high number of cells called melanocytes. Melanocytes, they are cells that have one job and one job only, and that is making melanin. That is where your hair color, skin color, eye color all come from. But cells all over your body produce it because it protects your cells from UV rays. But they're also present in high concentrations in areas that get a lot of friction. So think your butt crack, your scrotum, your labia, or your underarm.
You know, I have never really thought about those areas getting a lot of friction, I guess, especially in the nether regions. I guess in my mind, they're all very static, but that makes a lot of sense because they're right between your legs, which, I mean, design flaw, God. Maybe whoever designed that, think it through.
Yeah.
Is this intelligent design? I think not.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of women have a naturally darker, especially women, because you can see it, right? Because we shaved off all the hair. I mean, we're pretty pale.
I don't know melanin, to be fair. But I am melanin deficient.
It is a genetic thing about how dark these areas are going to get. There are other things, though, that affect melanin in your skin, like hormone changes. So that includes puberty, pregnancy, and aging. So in general, the older you are or the more kids that you've had, the darker your genitals are going to get. And that includes your vulva and your starfish round back.
Will the punishments to women never end? Fuck, it's hard enough that you have to fucking fart out a baby from your nether region and destroying the whole area in the process. Nature's also going to be like, well, now it's a different color, just to add insult to injury.
Yeah. Nature is not the friend to ladies. And in case you were wondering, yep, vaginal bleaching is definitely a thing in addition to anal bleaching. The name, total misnomer, because it's your vulva that's getting the treatment, not your vagina.
Don't put bleach in your vagina.
But Rachel, we can't be bothered to know the names of women's body parts.
We don't do any research on them, so why would we need to know their scientific names?
Precisely. So here we are, chasing the fountain of youth for our face, our hair, our skin, everywhere else. Pink butts and vaginas means youthful, young, beautiful.
But okay, here's the thing that I cannot wrap my head around, because we humans, we are not baboons, right? Our mating rituals don't involve ladies dropping trow and then presenting to their suitors, right? By most standards, most copulation or procreation attempted, at least, that's not how it's happening. Your partner is not even going to see your cute little starfish until you're very hot and heavy in the moment. So do you think that the color is going to turn them off at that moment? are they pulling out a fucking like color coding chart, like they're measuring pH and holding it up to your asshole and being like, I'm outie, sorry babe, but the most I can do is deep apricot, can't do anything beyond that.
It's like the teeth whitening thing. You know, you get the shades out.
Yes. Yeah, like put it next to it. I mean, but like, I feel like there has to be some psychological element to it because there's no rational piece to this. But I know you are going to delve into that as we go on.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit more about the logistics of this procedure. So, of the locations I could find that offer the service, mostly in California, in New York, by the way, definitely a coastal thing. The copy on this website was so cringe. So I feel the need to quote to you something that appeared here.
Oh boy.
When the skin of your anus is darker than the rest of your skin, you may feel self-conscious, resulting in a blow to your sexual confidence. Anal bleaching can give your perineal region a refreshed, healthy look, so you feel attractive and confident in intimate relationships.
But I will say, if you are worried about the color of your bum while with your lover, somebody is not doing their job, because that is like, of the things you should be thinking of, that's not
it shouldn't be top of your mind. You should be more in the moment. You shouldn't be like, oh no, what is he going to think of my butthole?
Yeah, you should either be in the moment or like planning your next day. Like there's no in between.
Yeah, you're either in or you're out. You're either planning your grocery list or you're in the moment.
Yeah, you're either that or you're drooling because you're brainless. Like those are the options.
But the page on anal bleaching from Dr. Zuri Mural, colorectal surgeon in Los Angeles. This was my absolute fucking favorite website because it featured this gray-haired geriatric woman that was laughing. And it kind of looks like she's in a wheelchair. Like she's seated. You don't see a wheelchair, but she's seated and the person above her is standing. So you can't get away from the impression that she's in a wheelchair. And I can only imagine that AI had to have made this webpage, right? Because they had to have picked up on the aging keyword. Because how in the hell could an actual human being choose this image to advertise anal bleaching services?
What the fuck? Because it looks like this picture should belong in our assisted suicide episode, not the anal bleaching episode. But this makes me wonder, like, do we have the whole target audience of this wrong? Like, is the real demographics for this procedure octogenarians? Because it looks like a young nurse literally helping an older woman, and she's just giggling.
She's so happy with her new asshole.
She's like, I feel 21 again. Look out, Richard.
She's at the nursing home getting those STDs. All right, but if you want this refreshed, healthy look for yourself in your bumhole, the price and the method can vary wildly depending on what route that you're going to take for your Hershey Highway. Route 1 is an in-office treatment. The original, most common method is actually a bleaching cream. So your professional will apply it, leave it on for an appropriate amount of time. Depends on the strength and the darkness of your bullseye, I guess. And then remove it in a wiping process. May take several
that process.
We all know that process. It may take
Is it a buncher or a folder? That's the real question.
I think probably a folder. It may take several treatments in office for you to get to your desired shade.
You know, that seems surprisingly low tech, because if I'm going into an office and I'm spreading them cheeks, I want something that feels like a little bit more high tech than them just putting a cream on my ass. Like I feel like I could do that at home. I need something that I feel like, oh wow, you had to go to a course. You had to get certified. You had to be taught how to master this procedure.
Well, you are in luck because the next in-office method, that one is somebody who has to at least be trained in some variety, which is laser whitening. Ooh. It's similar to the laser that's used to remove pubic hair. So I've had hair lasered off my lady parts. That was not a picnic. It hurt. I cannot imagine that they use that same strength of laser on that skin around your poop chute. Like it was a lot. And so I cannot imagine that is what they use. They use a numbing cream beforehand, but it still can't be pleasant. Even if it's not as intense, even though they use the numbing cream, it has to fucking hurt. And again, it's going to take several treatments to get that perfect pucker pigment. The costs variable across the board. I saw prices from $150 to $500 a session for both of these treatments. It's kind of a coastal service, so that doesn't surprise me, about the outrageous, because, it depends on the salon and all this different shit. It's all over the place.
Yeah, this definitely is something that is for the rich.
True.
Or the professionals.
Yeah.
That we talked about. Because if somebody said, Rachel, you had $500 to spend to fix something on this, to fix all of this.
It would not be my butthole.
Yeah, the first thing I would not start on would not be my butthole. It would be one of the many plethora of other opportunities that I have. And if you want to tell me where to start, please comment in the comments and let me know, because I also will send you a link to my Cash App so you can help fund the first $500 to fix this. I'm working with what nature gave me here, guys.
All right. But for those of us in the Midwest who can't get a hold of these professionals, the at-home version is going to be your best bet. You can buy these intimate bleaching creams on Amazon, Walmart, pretty much anywhere else. The self-applied creams, less powerful than the ones that are used in office. It's a lot like skincare that you'll get at like a spa for a facial versus what you'll get at the drugstore, right? You go in for a facial and you're like, ow, they're like burning parts of your skin off. You'll get like a peel at the drugstore, but it's not going to be anywhere nearly as powerful because they want somebody to monitor it. Multiple applications of these at-home creams will be needed, but you can go at your own pace, and I think most importantly in the privacy of your own home.
So the ideal situation isn't that you brought your date back to your place and you're like, oh, fuck, I gotta like fix this situation down here. And then you take the whole bottle and you apply it all to your asshole in a desperate attempt to arouse your lover with your pretty pink Patrick Starfish.
No, it's going to take time to get the shade of your choosing. Though I imagine it would turn
but you
some
just
people
put it
on.
all on. You're just like, they're like, are you okay in there? And you're like, yeah, I'm just taking a massive shit. And they're like, okay. And you're just like, give me 25 to 30 more minutes, and you're really going to appreciate it.
It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it.
And you just like walk out backward and you're like blinded, like blinded.
As one of the articles that I read, it was really funny. It said you don't want to end up looking like you sat on a wintergreen mint.
I can't even imagine what that looks like. I would have said you don't want to look like you sat on a fucking supernova or something. That I would want. That sounds appealing to some extent.
Blind somebody. It's like a superpower. You moon somebody and they're like, ah!
They're falling over. You burn people's eyes out. I'm surprised that isn't a character on The Boys yet.
All right. No matter what route your rump takes, none of this is going to be permanent, which makes that price tag to me, like per session, completely fucking outrageous. Your skin will eventually darken again. Touch-ups will be needed for maintenance. But before you run off to make your next shameful online purchase, booty beware, folks. Some of these creams can contain hydroquinone. This is a chemical that has long been used for lightening creams of all kinds and hyperpigmentation issues. The EU banned them since 2005. The US recently started banning them in 2020. Of course, 15 years ahead, later than the EU, because it's a known carcinogen.
So are hot dogs. What's the harm?
Okay, well, other skin lightening creams from less than reputable sources, like the ones that market towards Indian and Asian women to lighten, face shades, because having light skin is considered a sign of, class, wealth, well-breeding, etc., etc. Those companies have been known to put levels of mercury, dangerous levels of mercury in their products. And I don't think it's too much of a stretch to imagine that some of the Shein versions of these creams, that you order directly from China, might also contain some mercury. So just keep that in mind.
We have really not progressed from the Victorian age that much, right?
Truly.
We've got mercury creams to make us paler. The mega rich are running the world like some nouveau royalty, and children are making our clothes in sweatshops. Industry. Progress.
Yeah, progress. All comes around again. Everything that happened before will happen again. Okay, so even if these products are made from safe materials, there's still risk involved, right? These creams are all meant for external use only. You've seen that stamped on a lot of different products, right? But the mucous membranes of your rectum, they are only millimeters away from the area that you're rubbing this cream on. So mucous membranes, so that includes like your mouth, your vagina, your rectum, they're more porous and they absorb more than your skin, your epidermis, which means these chemicals have a higher likelihood of entering your bloodstream, which they are definitely not approved for. The risks haven't been studied, so take that into account.
What's a little harmful chemicals amongst mucous membranes? Guys, you only live once. Live fast, die young. Leave a bleached asshole.
You put that on your tombstone. But those are all long-term, potential hazards, and those are fucking boring. Short-term hazards. That is what people want to know about, because fucking the future, who knows if we're ever going to get there.
Long-term gratification, we as a species...
Over it. Yeah, thumbs down. Short-term wise, you can hurt the very sensitive skin of your back door. Burning, itching, pretty much any of the unpleasant side effects that you can imagine that comes from rubbing an irritant on your fart box. It's just kind of nonsensical. But this discomfort, it can go beyond just, a little bit of uncomfy bum. It can create anal strictures, which is pretty much scar tissue on an area that's supposed to stretch. So scar tissue, if you have any, on your body, it's not super stretchy. It has a different elasticity than the rest of your skin. So you can see how a problem can arise when it is on your bum. Painful bowel movements, constipation, these are all things that could possibly happen if you're very sensitive and you get these anal strictures in place.
Beauty is pain, Laura. Remember that. Beauty is pain. And no one ever said an attractive butthole is an effective one. So although I imagine that would make other backdoor activities less enjoyable as well.
If all of this still sounds hunky-dory to you, you're planning your big butthole debut. I guess you
blind some people. But supernova black hole.
But like you said, Rachel, I think that anybody who wants to see your rosebud up close and personal and then actually gets to see it should be fucking thrilled no matter what color it is. If you're showing them to people who care about what color they are, if you show them to people who are ripping out their, teeth whitening thing and trying to decide what color to go for, you shouldn't be showing your butthole to these people. Just hook up with somebody who actually likes you and not your fucking parts.
Oh, and I think that's a beautiful lesson to come out of the butt bleaching episode.
But let's get real, because if you're getting this done, it's really not for another person. If you're doing it, you're probably going to be the type of person who says, it's for me. It's so I can feel confident. And I genuinely don't know how to try to convince people more than we already have in like a lot of our different episodes that your worth is not how well you measure up to an unattainable, over-sexualized beauty ideal. And that's male, that's female, because it's popular in the gay community as well. It's just, just examine your own ideals of what beauty is, where your self-worth comes from, because if it comes from the color of your butthole, I don't know how to help you.
Actually, I just want to take this moment to go on the record and say that officially the most beautiful asshole is the one that's like so like not just bleached but like white, like so white it's almost translucent. Like think Edward Cullen's asshole. So like throw some sparkle in there, and like nothing else is acceptable, guys. It's a very rigid and painful standard, right? And that means like the more rigid and painful your asshole, the better. So really just like bleach it up, bitches.
Throw some sparkle on there.
Yeah, and some glitter, whatever, glitter enemas. Because that is literally the most I can muster. To like, this is the most insane thing. I can't even dignify this with a feminist rant as requested, Laura, because what a stupid thing to derive value from. Like, my asshole's prettier than your asshole. I mean, but then then again, like I've heard men send each other pictures of their shits to like brag about who has the biggest shit. So humans as a species, we have weird ways to distinguish value and worth. That's for sure.
It's true. It's true. We're a fucking enigma. All right. That's it. That's it for this summer short. If you like what you hear, give us a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcast. We've got this cool thing. You can text us if you're listening on a podcast app. Just click the link in the description. Send us what you think about booty bleaching. Have you tried it? Have you known someone who's tried it? Or
do you have a preference on color of assholes?
Yeah.
Let us know. What
Send us the Pantone color. I want to know. I want to know.
What is your preference? What is too pigmented for you?
Let us know. Texts are anonymous. You don't have to worry about putting your butt on the line, so to speak. We'll never know. We'll never even know your phone number, your area code, your name. Nothing. And as always, stay curious, you fucking weirdos. Keep marching to the beat of your own drum.
I've never talked about my butthole with any healthcare provider.
I
it's
had
color
until this week.
It's tenacity or whatever.
Tenacity? I guess that's one way to put it.